Welcome everyone to the Armageddon struggle between Hikaru Nakamura, who has the black pieces, against Arjun Erigaisi. Hikaru had a great position in the classical encounter, was so close to winning actually. He was right there on several occasions, but Arjun, being the resourceful player that he is, wriggled out and remained alive. Now they are going to face each other in the Armageddon. Arjun has 10 minutes on the clock. There he arrives. Hikaru has 7 minutes. And yeah, there you see Hikaru looking at the screen, Arjun as well. And I guess this is going to be very intense. Hikaru did lose to Wei yesterday in the Armageddon. This is his forte, I must say, like the short format. No increment, I think only 1 second increment after move 40. It's something that Hikaru loves doing. He does it all the time online, but now he has to do it over the board, and it's a small difference. But we'll see how things pan out here. Handshake, and Arjun opens with knight to f3. Hikaru goes pawn to d5. We have c4 on the board. In the main game, we had the Slav defense that was played there, and we'll see what Hikaru does here. He goes for e6, pawn comes up to d4, knight f6, and now Arjun brings his knight out to c3. Hikaru goes for this trending lines in the modern chess with a6 and h6 here. Arjun gets his bishop out on a beautiful diagonal here, and Hikaru is contemplating here what to do. He goes c6, just creating this beautiful pawn chain. Black pieces are quite naturally going to develop. Bishop d6 played here, offering a trade of bishops. Should Arjun take it? Yes, he does. Queen takes on d6. He brings his queen to c2, taking this important diagonal, also creating some threats down the c file. Knight comes out to d7. The bishop develops here. Already white looks slightly better. Short castle. And now I think white can also short castle. Yes, Arjun playing it safe and solid here, short castling. And one of the key ideas in such positions is rook b1, b4, and that's what Arjun goes for. He goes for the minority attack with b4, b5. It's well known, well documented, and Hikaru stops it with a5. h3 played by Arjun. You can even go a3, b4, b6. Hikaru goes for the pawn push here. And now you can actually push your pawn in the center. It's not a bad idea. But he gets his rook to the c file. Bishop b7. Hikaru going for the c5 break. a3 played, angling for b4. And is Hikaru going c5? Yes, he does. He plays his pawn to c5. He's not afraid of weakening the b5 square. If black gets c4, later b5, b4 would be great. So Arjun puts his bishop on the b5 square. Very intense battle between two players who understand these structures very well. None of them giving an inch to their opponent. Rook c8. Good move by Hikaru. And Arjun goes rook d1. Now suddenly the shift has happened. Now the d file could open up. Knight goes to f8. Fantastic maneuver. Hikaru coming to e6. Putting pressure on d4. Defending c5. Queen comes to f5. An active queen. Ooh, Hikaru touched his king there. No, he just adjusted it. And now queen e7. He brings his queen back. And the advantage for Arjun is growing very slowly. This is attacked. Bishop c6 played. Now, take, and knight c3 gives white a very pleasant position. But Arjun gets tempted. He takes the pawn, gives up the piece, takes the rook, queen c7. Hikaru says the knight is trapped. Rook c8. White is still better here with b4 or rook c1. But not so much. Not so much anymore because black has a knight and a bishop for a rook. So rook dc1 played. And now a4 blocking. In fact, b4 would have been much better on the previous move. Now somehow black seems to have gotten a bit of control on the light square. You can see the bishop sits here. The knight could come here. Pawn to c6 played by Arjun. Whew. The rooks have been blocked. That's the main problem. You know, when you have the rooks, you want open files. You want them to get active along the c file, along the b file. But these are shut files now. Queen comes back to c2, attacking this pawn. Queen a7, defending this pawn here. And now Arjun brings his queen up to c3. Knight drops back. He wants to win this pawn. Arjun losing control here. Maybe b4. I don't know. b4. Can you take here? And look at Arjun's time. 6 minutes 20 seconds. Hikaru has 4 minutes on the clock. I think Hikaru feels confident at this point. Rook d1. That's just almost a nothing move here. Knight e4. You can play in. I guess Arjun is hoping for this blunder. Take. Or maybe it's not even a blunder. You can't take here. It takes with the rook. There's no back rank mate. Aha. So actually Hikaru can chop off the pawn. But he goes at 6. Being very safe. And I think that's a good strategy. Hikaru understands that his position is excellent and he doesn't need to rush there. But you can feel like Hikaru is a bit too calm. You know, it's 3 minutes 39 seconds. Knight e4, good move again. Hitting the queen. Do you go queen b4? Attacking the knight? No, he goes queen e1. And it's time to chop off the pawn. He takes on c6. Arjun jumps. Now he has to create some threats. He can't really take here and say, okay, it's fine. Knight e7. Hikaru offers a trade, but that's a blunder. Knight takes, queen takes, rook takes pawn. And quite uncharacteristic blunder by Hikaru there. He never makes such errors. Oh, and Arjun misses. And look at Hikaru. He's like, what the hell, Arjun? Didn't expect this from you. Shakes his head. So many expressions there hidden, you know. And I think when Hikaru shakes his head, Arjun can see it. Now it's even tough. Sometimes, you know, you have this regret. Oh my God, I missed this move. It was such a big opportunity for me. Because that would have actually given Arjun slightly better position. Now he's clearly lost once again. But you have to fight. That's the thing about chess. You forget what happened on the previous move. You get to the present moment. You do your best. Now knight c5, knight d3. Beautiful maneuver could come in. He plays his rook to b6. He wants to switch his rook to g6. Maybe queen could come to g5, launch an attack. Queen a5 played, rook a6. And now queen e1, Arjun. And look at Hikaru, how he swung his rook over. There, rook to g6. And he's putting pressure on the g2 point. I guess Arjun is completely smothered, I must say, by these two pieces. The rooks are like, give us some way, man. Give us some way here. Queen d1. And now bishop b3 is just losing material. No, there's rook c8 check. Queen g5. Threatening mate in 1. I guess he must go queen f3 to prevent it. To stop the mate on g2 square. 5 minutes for Arjun. 2 minutes 44 seconds for Hikaru. Queen comes to f3. And now Arjun is hoping that at some point he can give a check and try to pick up this pawn. Hikaru now starts to sort of speed up. Check. King to h7. The queen would love to take the pawn, but it's a checkmate here. So maybe a distraction technique with h4 could be not a bad idea. He plays it. And Hikaru can chop off the pawn. I think he takes it. And if Arjun takes on f7, there's a nice tactic here. Rook takes pawn, takes, check, and you win the rook. And that's game over, basically. Essentially, that would be game over because then you take away the attacking piece that white has. And then black has complete control over the position. And that's the reason why Arjun is thinking, should he take the pawn or not? Because essentially, it's a losing move. But it's also hope. No, Hikaru blunders instantly. He gives, what a terrible move by Hikaru. He had like 2 minutes 20 seconds. And g3. Fantastic move. Defending the f2 point. And Hikaru says, oh my God, I just missed this. Because Hikaru thought now his king is safe. No checks. He is attacking here with his queen. But suddenly misses Arjun's g3 move. Oh my God. This is not the Hikaru we are used to, but also this is the Hikaru who's playing after 4 hours of classical chess. He might be tired. Rook c7, attacking the g7 pawn and shaking his head there. What to do here? What to play? How to defend this pawn? Suddenly this doesn't make any sense. There's no attack. You are just losing. Things have turned around insanely. And Hikaru Nakamura cannot believe What has happened? In the classical game he was winning, and then Arjun managed to save it there. Here he was completely winning, and here Arjun has turned it around, not just saving the position but absolutely winning. And look at Arjun's expression. You can't even decode anything. Playing Arjun is like playing an engine, a stockfish. Winning, losing, you just get the same expression from him. Absolutely insane the way in which Arjun is there right now, and Hikaru is looking at the board as if, give me something here. Give me an idea. I think he just wants to resign. Chess is sometimes brutal, you know. You just can't do anything. Like this pawn is hanging. You will be like, oh, I'll find a way to defend it. I have a knight, I have a bishop, I have a rook, I have a queen. No, none of the pieces can save it. That's the problem. And this rook does an incredible job of taking away the check from the black queen. It's doing a pivotal role of defense when two white pieces are on the offense. And Hikaru now has to make a move because he's down almost to his last few seconds. King h5, Arjun chops off the pawn, rook g6, and now the fastest way to win is queen f7 or queen e8 pinning. This is important because if Arjun takes here, Hikaru is back. This is fine for black. Arjun has 3 minutes 53 seconds, and I think he's just going to find this move. Queen f7, beautiful move. Bishop comes back to c4, and now this takes, queen takes, and check. That's the move. That's there. And because this g4, the king goes to g5, there's f4, the queen will be lost. Just have a look at this. Take, g4. He takes, queen takes, and Arjun knows it. g4 check, and resigns there. Arjun wins. Hikaru is so upset. He gets up from the board, and huge win there for Arjun, scoring a win in the Armageddon, moving up to 6 points in this tournament. I think for Arjun this win means a lot, especially the fighting spirit that he's shown here, keeping his calm. You can see it here again, just arranging all the pieces, gets up from the chair, and Arjun wins this against Hikaru.